Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I want to tell you guys that recently I am telling you that there's something happened to the place where I was born in. I believe everybody heard about the fire in Hong Kong that rise to 94 deaths on the second day. Let me tell you what happened. Firefighters battled a blaze at a high-rise apartment complex in Hong Kong for a second day on Thursday. The fire official says as the death toll rose to 94 in one of the deadliest blazes in the city's modern history. More than 70 people were injured, including 11 firefighters, along with 94 deaths, according to the city's fire service department. Rescuers holding flashlights that were going from apartments to apartment at the shared towers as thick smoke continued to pour out from some windows at the Wong Fu Court complex, a dense cluster of buildings housing thousands of people in Tai Po district, northern suburb near Hong Kong's border with the mainland. And I believe everybody knows that one of the firefighters was killed in the fire. This is not what you're thinking that. It's true. Officials said that firefighters were still working on a handful of apartments, trying to enter all the units in 7 towers to ensure there were no further casualties. Authorities said they expected the blaze to be fully extinguished in the coming hours. Our firefighting operation is almost complete, said Derek Armstrong Chan, Deputy Director of the Fire Service Department. The firefighters were working hard to prevent the debris and embers from flaring up. What's next in the search and rescue operation, he added. It was unclear how many people were missing or trapped. Hong Kong leader John Lee said contact had been lost with 279 people early Thursday. Authorities did not provide updates on the missing people or how many were still inside the ravaged building during a later news conference. I remember when I was a young kid, I lived in Metro City Phase 3. And, that time there was a fire as well. We heard the fire alarm and then we rushed out. Luckily, nothing happened. I guess the one I lived in was a New Territories region. That district was a safe one because their engineering company was strict with things. But this one, I don't think so. Video showed rescuers searching in some apartments in the dark. Orange flames were still seen from the inside several windows, so the whole complex was now largely a black ruin. Firefighters had been trying to control the flames since mid-afternoon Wednesday, when the fire was believed to have started in bamboo scaffolding and construction netting, and then spread across 7 of the complex's 8 buildings. Fires in 4 buildings have been effectively put out, the 3 remaining towers under control, authorities said Thursday afternoon. Yeah, I remember when I was in Hong Kong, I see a lot of engineering companies have bamboo scaffolding for constructions. I do see some. I remember when I was going to my school in Hong Kong, I do see some of those things. Rescuers are battling high temperatures and carefully going up floor by floor, thoroughly searching and aiming to rescue people as quickly as possible, said the Deputy Director of Fire Service. We don't rule out rescuing more injured people. One fighter was among the dead, and the 70 people were injured, authorities said. About 900 people were evacuated to temporary shelters overnight. Resident Lauren Lee was waiting for news about his wife, who was still trapped in their apartment. A lot of people were being nervous about how their family members are doing during the fire. When the fire started, I told her on the phone to escape, but once she left the flat, the corridor and stairs were all filled with smoke and it was all dark, so we had no choice but to go back to the flat, he said, as they waited in one of the shelters overnight. Winter and Sandy Chung, who live in one of the towers, said that they saw sparks fly around as they evacuated Wednesday afternoon. Although they were safe, they were worried about their home. I couldn't sleep the entire night, Winter Chung, 75, told the Associated Press on Thursday. These are what the people are talking about, you know. I remember when I was there at the Metro City Phase 3, there was a fire from floor number 1, and then the building was controlled with things, you know, and then all those things about how they found the reason, you know. Authorities suspected some materials on the exterior walls of the high-rise building did not meet fire resistance standards, allowing the usually fast spread of the fire. And police also said they found styrofoam, which is highly flammable, attached to the windows on each floor near the elevator lobby of one of the unaffected towers. It was believed to have been installed by the construction company, but the purpose was not clear. Secretary for Security Chris Tang said that they would investigate the material further. The fire started on the external scaffolding of a 32-story tower. They then spread on the bamboo scaffolding and construction netting to the inside of the building, and then to the other buildings, likely aided by window conditions. Firefighters aimed water at the intense flames from high on ladder trucks, but conditions for fighting the fire and rescuing people remain challenging. You can see from this thing. People are being nervous outside, you know. There's still big smokes inside. Let me show you the other picture. That's how they helped. You know, this guy, I believe, is one of the firefighter or stuff. Oh my goodness. It was a terrible person. So a terrible thing. A fire safety expert said the incident is quite shocking, as regulation in general require building to be spaced apart to keep fires from spreading from building to the next. You know, I remember when I was in Metro City Phase 1, the last one before we came here to Canada. You know, all the buildings were separated. You know, when I went down, I see the one I live in is separated with every other things in other buildings, you know. I was jogging very comfortably. You know, we do have clubhouse under one of the floors or stuff, you know. And then I liked that place, you know. You know, I will tell you, Metro City is the best place. Bamboo scaffolding is a concerned site in Hong Kong. A building construction and renovation project. The government said earlier this year that it would start phasing it out for public projects because of safety concerns. Housing complex consisted of 8 buildings with almost 2,000 apartments for about 4,800 residents, including many older people. You know. So I think Canada has a good design about semi-detached, and the townhouse also have the similar problem that if one house started burn, the other house started burn with it. So since I'm in a townhouse, I am very careful with the fire, you know. So the places I lived in when I was in Hong Kong were the safe design buildings. So I think I want to say something very harsh about the company. You guys aren't respecting lives when you are designing your project. Are you concerning lives? I hope you guys will be brave enough to apologize to the residents. The family members of those victims. And also the family member of the firefighter who was killed in the fire. Please do it in jail.